Welcome to Council Action. My name is Elizabeth Couts. I'm the mayor of the city of Burnsville. Council Action is a summary of the council's meeting on Tuesday, March 7th, 2017. The meeting was called to order at 6:30 p.m. at 100 Civic Center Parkway in the council chambers. We begin our meetings with a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we move on to our announcements. Our announcements have to do with all of our upcoming meetings. Council meetings are held on Tuesday, March 21st at 6:30 p.m. and Tuesday, April 4th at 6:30 p.m. We have work sessions scheduled for Tuesday, March 14th at 6:30 p.m. and Tuesday, April 11th at 6:30 p.m. And then we had citizens' comments, and no one appeared before the City Council to speak to any issues. But we did have the robotic students from ISD 191 who came and presented their project and also allowed us to see the project demonstrated, and they were a robotics team. And then we move on to the consent agenda because there were no additions to the agenda. And the consent agenda, we approved all of the minutes of our past meetings. We approved claims listing. And we also authorized the purchase of ballistic vests for our police. We authorized the payment to Dakota County for the annual 800 megahertz radio subscriber fee. And we accepted the quotes and awarded the contract for the rental of temporary construction trailers for the police operations during the Phase 1 facilities construction project. We also approved the joint powers agreement with Dakota County for wetland health evaluation program. And we approved the contract to harvest nuisance aquatic plants on Crystal Lake. We accepted and approved the quotes and award the contract for the annual purchase of the water treatment facility chemicals. We authorized the repair and award the contract for emergency repair of the surface water reservoir pump number 1. We also approved and authorized the 2017 street lighting improvements, and we approved the modification to the neighborhood's ends and outcomes. We adopted the findings of fact for the approval of the conditional use permit amendment variance preliminary and final plat for Berean Baptist Edition at 309 County Road 42 East. And that was the end of the consent agenda. And then we move on to the regular agenda. And the first item on the regular agenda is item number 5. And that was a public hearing. And this was to approve an on-sale Sunday on-sale liquor license for Eastgate Entertainment LLC, doing business as Venue 13, located at 3120 East Highway 13. The item was presented, no questions of staff. I opened the public hearing and no one spoke to the item, closed the public hearing, and the item was approved. The next item was item number 6. Item number 6 is a public hearing, and this was a resolution ordering the improvements and approving the plans and specifications and ordering the advertisement for bids for the 2017 street rehabilitation project. This item was presented, and there were no questions of staff, and I opened the public hearing. No one spoke to this particular item, and the item was approved. The next item was a public hearing, and this is the resolution ordering the improvements and approving plans and specifications and ordering advertisement for bids for the 2017 street reclamation project. This item was presented. There were no questions of staff. I opened the public hearing, and we did hear from a citizen. Wasn't in opposition about the project. Questions were asked and answered. And the item was approved. The next item was also a public hearing, and this is a resolution ordering the improvements and approving plans and specifications and ordering advertisement for bids for the 2017 street reconstruction project, Crystal Lake Road East narrowing. This item was presented. And there were no questions of staff because it was also on the reclamation part. But if we were going to narrow the street, then it would be a reconstruction. So it was only the portion of Crystal Lake East Road, Road East, that was going to be narrowed. We had 2 residents speak. There was a survey taken, and the majority of the neighborhood opposed the narrowing of the street. Only 3 were in favor of it, and so the 2 people who did speak spoke in opposition of the narrowing of the street. I closed the public hearing, and the council voted to not narrow the streets, so staff will proceed with just the reclamation part of it and leaving the street the size that it is, and it's not going to be narrowed. If you're interested, please tune in to www.burnsville.org and go to the City Council meeting of the 7th and hear the discussion on this particular item. Item 9 is the special meeting of the Economic Development Authority. I recessed the Burnsville City Council meeting so the Economic Development Authority meeting can convene. The Economic Development Authority was called to order, and there were no additions to the agenda, and there were 2 items on the consent agenda, and that was to approve the minutes of February 7th, 2017 meeting. That was approved, and then there was an approval to the joint powers agreement between Dakota County Community Development Agency and the City of Burnsville to engage the Metropolitan Consortium of Community Developers to undertake the Open to Business program within Dakota County. And that item was presented and approved as well. There were no items on the regular agenda and no miscellaneous items on the EDA agenda, and the meeting was adjourned. And we then reconvened the Burnsville City Council meeting, and there were no other items to come before us, but we did have a gentleman who wished to speak to us, and so I allowed him to speak under miscellaneous. Please tune into the City Council meeting. This was a homeless gentleman and wanted to tell us about how well he has been treated here in Burnsville, but was frustrated with not being able to find work. Tune into the City Council meeting and hear his comments. And we gave him some resources of where he can get some help. We do have a workforce center in the city of Burnsville. We have many churches that are also partnering with us to help people who are job seekers, to help them with their resumes and so forth. So there are so many resources within the city of Burnsville, and now staff talked with the gentleman after the meeting so that he has the other resources that he needs. But he was very complimentary about how he has been treated within the city of Burnsville and complimented our police officers highly. So there were no other items to come before us, and the meeting was then adjourned. Council action replays at 6 a.m. and noon, 6 p.m. and midnight, and City Council meetings replay at various times on Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And I encourage you to watch the following to see how you can view past meetings and current meetings via the internet at www.burnsville.org. I'm Elizabeth Kautz, Mayor of the City of Burnsville. Thank you for joining me. Continue to make a difference.